Of the Great War of the Ring, many songs have been sung and many tales told. The names of heroes like Gandalf the Grey, Aragorn the King, and Frodo the Ring-Bearer are greatly revered, and rightly so. Yet Sauron's grasp stretched much further than the lands of Gondor and Rohan alone, and his forces might have done great evil in the north of Middle-earth, had a handful of heroes not stood in his path. Their stories, too, deserve to be told. Pay heed now to one such tale, which begins here in the town of Bree, just a few short days before Frodo arrived on his quest.
Aragorn.
Eredon, well met. And in company with Andriel of Rivendell and Farin of Erebor. An unlikely trio to find walking through the doors of the Prancing Pony. You were at Sarn Ford last I knew. Do you bear news from Halbarad?
Yes. Grim news.
I feared it would be so. Quickly, tell me what has happened, but keep your voices low. There are unfriendly ears, even here in Bree.
3 days passed. The guard at Sarn Ford was attacked by 9 Black Riders. We were overwhelmed, and the enemy passed into the Shire.
This is worse than I imagined. I know these riders. It is from Mordor they come. Our folk could not hope to stand against the 9 together. How bad were our losses?
Very bad. We tried to resist them, but they were surrounded by an aura of unnatural dread.
There is more you should know. After the rout, one of the Black Riders met with an ally, a man of great malice and power.
Agandaur. As our master commanded, I have stirred up the orcs of the mountains. Even now I have a force gathering amid the ruins of Old Fornost. Return at once and prepare your forces. We will have need of them soon. My orcs will be ready. These lands have known peace for too long. They will soon feel the Dark Lord's wrath.
This Agandaur has a force at Fornost, then our position grows all the more desperate.
But why all this force against the peaceful halflings? It can't be the enemy sees them as a threat.
I will say this much. There is a hobbit of the Shire who should be coming this way with a great burden. If it falls into the hands of the enemy, it will mean doom for us all. Now this hobbit is adrift on the road with enemies all around. I must find him before they do. And I need you to help me keep him safe.
You are my chieftain. I will gladly do whatever you command.
I'm a part of this now as well.
Then we 3 are of one mind. How can we aid you?
We must reduce the threat from the enemies gathered at Fornost. Travel there and do whatever you can to keep the enemy's eye turned towards you and away from the Shire.
Perhaps we will have help in this task. Eladan and Elrohir were in the north when last I heard. Any gathering of the enemy is certain to attract their attention.
Good. You could find no better allies than the sons of Elrond half-elven.
I hope we meet. But with or without help, the enemy will be kept busy. We'll make sure of that. I have a few questions, if I may, Aragorn.
Shh. Here in Bree, there is no Aragorn. Only Strider the Ranger.
I don't understand why you hide your name. Surely it is a name to be proud of.
The Dark Lord in Mordor would not be pleased to know that Isildur's heir still lives. The time is not right for Aragorn, son of Arathorn, to stand revealed to the world. For now, I am simply Strider.
Yes, Strider it is. But what will you do now?
I will continue the search for the hobbit I spoke of. I've already scoured the road between here and the Shire, but found no trace of him. I fear he may have left the road, perhaps to escape pursuit. My hope now is that he will make his way here to Bree, the only safe haven for many miles. But if he does not appear soon, I will take to the road again in search of him. Should the enemy at Fornost join in the hunt, well, you understand just how grim our chances will become. I need you to prevent that. Go to Fornost. Take the fight to them.
What of this man, Agandaur, who met with the Black Riders? What do you make of him?
Some servant of the Dark Lord, and by his name one to be feared. His presence in the north bodes ill for us all, but I'm glad you discovered it. At least now we are forewarned.
Those things that attacked us at Sand Ford, those Black Riders, I've never seen anything like them before. What are they?
Do you not know them? There are whispered tales and legends enough that tell of them. They are the Nine, the Ring Wraiths. Of all the servants of the enemy, they are the most feared.
This Agandaur, he was no wraith. He seemed like a man, one filled with malice and dark power, but a man nonetheless. But what kind of man would serve the Dark Lord?
Not all the Dark Lord's servants are wraiths and orcs. There have been and still are many men, warriors and kings that walk alive under the sun, and yet are under his sway, willing or unwilling.
What can you tell me of Fornost?
Fornost was once a great city, the capital of the Dunedain kingdom of Arnor. It fell to the Witch King long ago. The men of Gondor and the elves formed an alliance that drove the Witch King out, but Fornost was never rebuilt. The ruins remain a place of dread for many. The men of Bree call it Dead Man's Dyke and fear to go near. It is a perfect place for our enemies to gather in secret.
So, Agandaur chose well, it seems. We'll travel to Fornost and see what we can do to upset his plans.
Welcome to Bree. You're a stranger around here. May I ask you a few questions?
What sort of questions?
We hear a lot of talk from travelers these days. Most of them speak of war and of a growing shadow in the east. The townsfolk just dismiss this, say it's far away and doesn't concern us, but I'm not so sure. You've traveled, maybe seen a few things. What's your opinion? Should we be worried?
There is much to worry about, and the danger is not far off.
I was afraid of that. If only I could convince others. But until then, I will have to take action on my own.
What do you intend to do?
I'd like to arrange for arming the town. We'll need more than pitchforks if we're forced to defend ourselves. I tried to convince a dwarven merchant to bring us weapons, but he refused.
But why would he refuse?
He seems convinced there's no market for weapons in this town, and said it wouldn't be worth his time.
Perhaps I should talk to him.
It's worth a try. His name is Groff. He's selling his wares from a market stall down the street. You might still find him there.
I will let you know what he has to say.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Got my head in the clouds, I guess.
Gloomy clouds, I'd say. Is something troubling you?
Oh, no, it's no trouble. Not really. It's more like, well, I'm in love.
I see. And who is it that you love?
It's Idona Bellflower, my childhood sweetheart. I always thought we were meant for each other, but her father doesn't like my prospects. He's arranging a match with the blacksmith, Edmund Brushwood.
And she agrees with this match?
That's just it. I'm not sure. I always told her how much I loved her when we were children. It was all a game back then. Then we got older and it got so much harder to say.
You should tell her how you feel, before it's too late.
I want to tell her. I do. Look, this locket belonged to my mother. I want to give it to Idona as a token of my love. The chain is broken, and Edmund the blacksmith is the only one in town who can fix it. If I take it to him, he's sure to suspect something in return.
Why not let me take it to him?
Yes, that might work. Edmund would never suspect a stranger like you. There's one more thing. Idona's father keeps a careful eye on his daughter and won't give...
I will take her the locket and your words.
Wonderful! Just perfect. Take the locket to Elman at the smithy across the street. Once it's repaired, bring it to Idona and tell her...
Very well. I'll tell her. Never fear. I will bring you...
Hello there. Ranger, are you? Let me get...
I have a locket with a broken chain. Do you think you can repair it?
Let's see it. Looks like something might have been made in these parts. Maybe back in me old dad's day.
You are correct. It is Bree work. I'm having it repaired as a favor to a friend.
I see. Well, it couldn't be simpler. I'll just add another link. And it won't cost you but a single... There you are. Good as new.
I thank you. Farewell, Smith.
Well now, if you don't mind my saying so, you don't look much like a Breelander.
I have a favor to ask of you.
A favor? What sort of favor?
I would like you to bring a store of weapons to sell to the Bree folk.
You're pulling my beard. Weapons for these folk? They wouldn't know which end of the sword to hang on to. I might as well try selling shoes to hobbits.
They may have had no need of weapons in the past, but these are unsettling times. They must be able to defend themselves.
I'll not deny times are growing dark. There's trouble all around. But you'll never get these folks to believe it. Life's been too easy for them for too long.
Not everyone is blind to the growing threat. It was one of the townsmen who sent me to ask this of you. There are others who are worried as well.
It'll take more than a few sensible folk to make it worth my time. These people are simple and peace-loving. It's plowshare.
Don't let their past prevent them from preparing for their future. It would be wrong to leave them defenseless.
You're right, of course. Maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. At least I'd have no competition. All right, I'll do it.
Excellent. How long will it be before the arms arrive?
Some time, I'm afraid. It's a long trek to the Blue Mountains and back. Not to mention I'll have to convince my kin I've not lost my mind. Probably 3 months or more, I reckon.
What can you tell me about the Blue Mountains and your people?
The Blue Mountains are prosperous enough, although we find more iron than gold. We rely on iron working for our livelihood. That's why I'm here selling tools to the Breelanders.
I will let them know when to expect you. Safe travels, Groff.
Hello, is there something I can do for you?
I have something for you. From Rowley Appledore.
A gift? From Rowley? But I thought that is he. I'm sorry, it's just so unexpected. What is this?
This locket. It was his mother's.
Oh, it's beautiful. But I don't understand. Why is he giving me this now?
He also wished me to convey his love for you.
Rowley loves me? Still? We were so close when we were children, but I thought he had forgotten all that.
He seems quite sincere.
But this is wonderful news. Wonderful. Rowley's always had my heart, always. The poor, simple, wonderful fool.
He is awaiting an answer from you.
Oh, please tell him I love him, and that we will find a way to be together always.
A welcome message, I'm sure. Goodbye, Idona.
You're back! Did you speak to Idona? What did...
It seems you have won her heart, Rowley.
Wonderful, wonderful! I can't thank you enough, my friend. But... Wait, hang on. I completely forgot. Edmund must have charged you something for that repair. I owe you for that, and for your trouble. Here, take what I have. I wish it could be more.
No, you keep it. I think you may need this more than I.
Well, if you're sure, thank you. I'm going to tell everyone how generous and kind you've been. Folks around here don't always trust rangers, but you'll always have at least one friend in Bree.
I hope you will both be happy. Good luck and goodbye, Rowley. Bree is a pleasant enough place, but the people here mistrust my kind.
Did you speak with Groff? What did he say? Will he bring us weapons?
I managed to convince him. You will have your arms.
Excellent. My only concern now is the time it will take. What if we need to defend the town before the dwarf-made goods arrive? Maybe you could help me with...
How so?
I can tell by your gear that you are no stranger to a fight. If you should have occasion to, well, let's say, recover any weapons you don't need, bring them to me, and I will pay you for them.
I will bear that in mind. Farewell.
This is foremost, yet I see no sign of
These
an
ruins
enemy.
could hide a large army. We might even now be under the gaze of unfriendly eyes.
Well, we came to provide a distraction for Aragorn, and what better way to do that than walking in the front door? Let's be about it.